Hi, my name's Dychronic. In today's video, we're taking a look at these Xurs random rolls, my recommendations for June 3rd, 2022. You can find these Xur in his regular spot in the Watcher's Grave on Nessus. Just head over to this teleport point, and this little big tree right here, you can find the Xur. This little big tree. Homie, calmer of booty! My man. This is a high overview, in case this is all you cared about. First up for the exotic weapon today, we have the COLDHEART, which is still an arc weapon, by the way, Bungie. Switch it to stasis. If you've never heard of it, it's literally the first stasis or trace rifle in the game. And as you shoot at targets, it goes up to double damage the longer you have that shot trained on that target, which is interesting because it has a decent amount of total armor damage at obviously auto rifle range. And apparently it gives you ionic traces while in its high damage state. Ionic traces are supposed to be something that give you ability regeneration, right? What are ionic traces? To be honest, I'm not a big fan of this weapon for either kind of mode. It just doesn't fit in the current meta anymore. For the Hunter exotic today, we have the Oathkeepers. You can hold your bow charges indefinitely. And as I'm personally not a big fan of this particular use, it's almost always used with Le Monarchs. You can have that poison effect, and in my opinion, most of the time you can learn this kind of thing. You don't need to use an entire exotic armor. That being said, there are times where it is convenient. As far as the roll goes, a 59 is below average, although it does have a big rise here in recovery, so again, it's kind of up to you. I don't really know what you want on this. Next up for the Titan exotic, we have the Ashen Wake. And with Solar 3.0, a lot more people are using solar-based exotics, and this one is one that has some use, although I still prefer Lorelei, Inmost, Halifire over this kind of thing, but some people really like this. If you've never heard it, fusion grenades now explode on impact and gain increased throw speed. They just basically whip it like a bullet. And final blows with the fusion grenades grant grenade energy. And in Crucible, if you get a kill with the fusion grenade, you actually get your full grenade back. In PvE, you just have to kill a higher level target. I think an orange bar will suffice. The problem being is you depend on actually getting a kill with your grenade, which is not always dependable. Personally, I really enjoy just throwing the hammer over and over again and picking it back up. I definitely think this is more of a PvP exotic. I'm not sure anymore if you can get ×2 or ×3 roaring flames and actually one-shot enemies with your grenade anymore, but most likely you can do it with 3. As far as the roll goes, you like to see a lot of discipline because sometimes you don't get the kill with what you want. Recovery, because it's more of a PvP kind of thing, and it does have those kind of rolls, and also has strength, which works well with the roaring flames and the hammer stuff. So I'd say pretty good roll, pretty good total stats for a pretty good exotic. Following that, for the Warlock exotic, we have the go away. We have, there we go. No, there's another one. We have the ASTROCYTE. Man, it's kind of buggy in this season. The ASTROCYTE Verse, it's one of those high skill ceiling kind of exotics because it improves Blink in every way that you'd want it to be. But obviously Blink is a bit finicky, takes some time to get used to, but if you do get used to it, this helmet makes it way, way better. Definitely more of a PvP exotic as well, and fits with, you know, Void 3.0 that we got last season. As far as the stats go, total 60 is a little below average. The low mobility on Void, usually you want a little higher mobility, although most people don't like it on Warlock, although we're not doing a glide thing anymore, so I'm not exactly sure what's efficient. I guess you'd want strength recovery because you want melee based stuff and recovery. I don't really know. After that, let's take a look at the different legendary weapons. First up, we have the sidearm known as the Lonesome. Now, as I said before, I really am a fan of those 3 bursts and 2 bursts. Everything else just doesn't feel nearly as good. Not a bad roll on this though. A lot of good range stuff, mag stuff, outlaw, and swashbuck. Not a bad roll, I just prefer the 3 bursts and 2 bursts. After that, we have a False Promises with Threat Detector Sympathetic, some stability stuff, really not what you're looking for. We have whatever this is, MELO, which is another 360 auto rifle with Ensemble Harmony. Harmony is a really good perk, and the rest of it's okay. Accuracy. For an auto rifle? What does that mean? Wait, am I crazy? No, auto rifles haven't always had accuracy as a masterwork. What does this even mean? What does accuracy do? The range on that is really high though. Gosh golly. Really weird roll. I wouldn't personally recommend it, but it has a really high amount of range and it has accuracy. I don't really know what that means. Following that, we have the Long Shadow Firmly Planted Rampage. I do believe this is gonna have snapshot sights. And of course you want to be able to get those medium or a short zoom on it, which it does have. After that, we have the IOTA Draconis, which is Under Pressure Kickstart. Not a bad combination. Charge time, it has accelerated coils, it has extended barrel, so if you like these higher impact frames, this is a decent roll, although high impact frames are not as popular. We have Honor's Edge with Energy Transfer Shattering Blade. I don't really like this combo, and I don't think this sword really has many great combos. And of course, the Swarm, which is a 360 surplus Vorpal, is a good combination for this. Some mag stuff, some ability stuff. Not a bad roll for an exotic or a legendary that I believe has an adept version. After that, for the legendary armors, it seems like we're getting the Undying set this time. And of course, this is just for the Titans. 55, really kind of bad. 57, high resilience, high strength. 62 with high intellect, mobility, and recovery. Not a bad combination. And 65 with resilience, recovery, and strength. I would recommend these legs for sure. Depends on what kind of build you have, but 65 is really nice. After that, of course, for the exotic weapons. First up, for the Hawkmoon, we have the Hipfire Grip. Again, as always, I do prefer having rangefinder, opening shot, usually better options, and usually having a recoil direction control, which it says it's optimized for recoil, but it doesn't actually. So none of these really control recoil, and I'm not a big fan. After that, we have Dead Man's Tale with Vorpal, which is a popular perk to have on it. And it has better recoil direction with this stuff, and better recoil direction, which I don't think it needs double these, although Light Mag's pretty nice as well. So a pretty good DMT, a pretty bad Hawkmoon. And finally, obviously, make sure you get your exotic engrams if you have a lot of the legendary shards, because it guarantees you an exotic you've never received before, and it's a high stat roll. Although maybe not as high as I would have liked it to be. Still hoping I can get a new Lorelei, because my Lorelei is a 46. Pretty bad. And of course, if you don't know already, I do live stream right after all these videos, as well as all the times on screen right now. And it's going to be live streamed right here on YouTube. Oftentimes open lobbies for raids, for Vow Disciple, for Pinnacles, for Seasonal, or just want to have some fun, come check it out. And of course, a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Specifically, a big thank you to Mohamed, Chris Thompson, Kellen, Alstruck, Dickerberg, Mondays, Debauchers, Unipanther, and Case Rank, and further support on Patreon. That's it. Hope you guys enjoy. My name is Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.